Marjorie, should we record another episode? Yes, we should. Hello and welcome to another episode of the DeHart House podcast. My name is Alicia and I'm coming to you from West Texas in the United States of America. This is my podcast about knitting, crocheting, spinning, sewing, all of the craft hobbies that I do. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Today is Sunday, November 4th. Oh my gosh, it's November 4th already. Yes. If you're wanting to follow me on other social media, you can find me on Instagram as ReadKnitRun and on Ravelry as AlittyKnitsToo. I also have a shop on Etsy called DeHart House Creations where I sell handmade bags and hand-dyed yarn. And the shop has an Instagram account as well. You can find that at DeHart House, where I post updates about what's going on in the shop. Yes, it has been a little while since I've recorded. I have found that recording once a week is something that I can't keep up with during this semester, so I apologize. I am drinking some green tea with matcha. Not exactly sure what that's supposed to help with, but yeah, it's very tasty. I didn't add anything to it. And yeah. So, let's start off the podcast with some announcements. First of all, if you haven't joined the DeHart House podcast group on Ravelry, you should. I have a link right down below in the description box. Go ahead and join that group. That's where I post show notes and host knit-alongs, and you guys can ask questions and all sorts of community forum interaction there in the Ravelry group. So to go with announcements, I am running currently 3 knit-along / crochet-along / make-alongs. The first one is All the Shawls of Fall, which is a knit-along / crochet-along, and it's about knitting all the shawls during the fall season. So this knit-along started in September. It's going to end December 22nd. At midnight, I will close that thread, probably the next day in the morning. But yeah, and so just knit all the shawls, any pattern, any size, any yarn, for any person, and you can knit or crochet those. What can get you extra entries? Using one of my patterns or using some of my yarn. So I am wearing one of my shawl designs today. This is the Serendipity shawl. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It has some stripes, it has some solid sections. I used a gradient mini skein set to knit this, but you could really use any yarn combination you wanted. Yes, so that is currently running. I did post a new shawl pattern last month called A Walk in the Park. So thank you to everyone who purchased that pattern. I really, really appreciate your support, and I hope that you love the pattern. I'm also running 2 blanket knit-alongs, one for adult blankets and one for baby blankets. And I should say it's not a knit-along, it's a make-along, which means you can use any craft to make a blanket. I separated out adult blankets and baby blankets into different threads because for those of you who make blankets, you know there's a significant size difference. So the adult size blanket make-along is called the Cozy Couch make-along, and the baby blanket one is Cozy Crib make-along. So all I ask is that any blanket that you finish this year, post a picture in the appropriate thread to be entered in for a prize to be drawn at the end of the year. So it doesn't matter when you started that blanket, all that matters is that you finish it in the year of 2018, and on January 1st, or somewhere around there, I will draw random winners to win various prizes. So you still have November and December to finish those up. I have one of my blankets in my lap right now, keeping me warm. This is my buffalo check mitered square blanket, and it's coming along very nicely. I don't think I'm going to finish it this year. I did start it this year with 2 other blanket whips going. I decided I needed to start another one. Of course, why not? But yes, this is a worsted weight blanket. I am using this gray right here is Karen 100% acrylic yarn. The color is soft gray mix. Soft gray mix? I believe so. The darker gray is Red Heart yarn. This color is called charcoal. And then the white is also Red Heart, and the color is white. Yeah, so I'm just knitting it so it looks like, you know, buffalo check plaid. I did post a picture on Instagram to give you guys a better look at the current work in progress. So I'll put the picture in here of my work in progress on our queen size bed. So it is a decent size, and I'm very excited to watch this project grow. It's very warm and goes with our decor, and I just love it. So it is sitting here on my lap right now. It's a great lap size blanket. So this is going to keep me warm today. Yeah, so, yeah, if you finish any blankets, just post a picture, and, I have had people say that I feel bad for posting twice when no one else has posted. Don't feel bad. The more you finish, just post them. I want to see what you finish. Okay, so that covers announcements. I don't have any finished objects to show you guys. I have all these bags. Here's what I was working on earlier, but yes, I have all of these projects going on. I am definitely in distract mode where I get close to finishing something and then I'm like, oh, let me go cast on the next thing. And I don't go back and finish. So, yeah. I'm in distract mode, which is horrible, just horrible. Anyway, so I don't have any finished objects, but last time I showed you guys I'd finished a cardigan, and what else did I finish? Socks, yes. So I'm hoping to have some things finished for next time. So right now I'll talk about my works in progress. By the way, I didn't mention this before, we are in my craft room. I am at a different angle in my craft room. I have this nice pegboard here where I put skeins that I have balled up, and either I balled it up and never actually used it in a project, or mostly they're leftovers from projects. So I'll just pan the camera over here a little bit so you can see it's kind of sparse up there, but I reorganized it so it would be a little more rainbow color coded. But I also need to purchase more pegs to put on there. So anyway, I saw a pegboard with balls of yarn on it on Pinterest, and I said I have to have one of those in my craft room. And honestly, it is a really nice way to organize leftovers that aren't, you know, tiny little. If it's more than 20 grams, it goes up here. If it's more than 20 grams, it goes up here. So basically, if it's more than a mini skein, it goes up here. And if it's a mini skein, I have glass jars over here that hold those. So there's just yarn everywhere. All right. So I have a few works in progress I want to talk about, and I have several bags, but I'm only going to talk about the ones that I actually worked on. So first of all, I'm holding my Color Bomb cowl that I am currently knitting as a part of the All the Shawls of Fall knit along. So I had finished a shawl earlier, and now I'm working on a cowl. The yarn is super bright and colorful. This is Gritty Knits. Yes, Gritty Knits. I wanted to say Gritty Knits yarn, but it's just Gritty Knits on their Nom base, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend. And I picked this yarn up at the DFW Fiber Festival earlier this year. And believe it or not, this was on their clearance rack. And there's clearance sale, I guess sale. It wasn't really clearance, but anyway, it was on sale, and it was, what was it, 150 yards or something? 150 grams. Oh my gosh. 150 grams. Anyway, it was an amazing deal, and it looks so wonderful in this cowl. So, yeah, basically the pattern is the Sock Head Cowl by Kelly McClure, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Basically, you just pick a beautiful skein of fingering weight yarn, and you just knit a nice cowl out of it. So we've got 2x2 ribbing on one side. You'll do this, I'll do the stockinette body, and then repeat the 2x2 ribbing on the other end. And the plan is to use up the whole skein. So in the pattern, she recommends knitting, doing the ribbing, and then weigh your ball of yarn to see how much you used to do the ribbing. That way you know how much to save at the end to do your ribbing. So I used about 20 grams to do these 4 inches of ribbing. So I will keep weighing my ball of yarn, and when I have about 20 grams, I'll start doing the ribbing on the other end. Yeah, which I'm pretty sure I still have more than 20 grams. Excuse me. So I'm knitting this on US size 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle. I love my ChowGoo cables. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I'm doing it magic loop because the cable size I have was a little bit too big in the size needle that I wanted, so it's just happens to be that way, not on purpose or anything, but yeah. Anyway, I have knit with Gritty Knits yarn before in a different base, and their colors are amazing, and the yarn wears really well, and I highly, highly recommend it, and I can't wait to get more in the future. So yeah, I can't say enough good things. And this project is living in one of my boxy bags. I'll go ahead and put this back in here. I do have some of these in the shop. This is my nice big boxy bag out of campground fabric. So it's a map of a campground with bears and the lazy river and trees and all kinds of things. Anyway, but I love a good boxy bag for taking my knitting on the go. It's very easy to just open the zipper a little bit, let the yarn come out the top, and I can knit on the go. Alright, so yeah, that's my first work in progress. It's just stockinette in the round, which is very boring, so this makes for good TV knitting. But honestly, I haven't really been working on this while watching TV. I've been working on other stockinette in the round projects. So yeah, I need to work on that. Do your own knit along, Alicia. Do it. All right. So I need to work on that some more. Yeah, so the thing I've mostly been working on while watching TV is my next sweater, and this is living in my sweater size Mario bag. Again, another bag that I sewed up. I still have more of this fabric. I need to make a bag for my sister. Yeah. Okay. So I am knitting. Hey, I found my wallet. Yeah, I totally took my knitting with me to the store and used this as a purse. So, oh boy. Anyway, I am knitting the Wind Down sweater by Drops Design. I'm knitting it in size large. You can't see this picture very well, but it is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's listed as 175-1 Wind Down. Yes. So, last episode, I had just started this sweater, so I was still in the yoke. I'm now well down the body. So I think it's been 2 weeks since the last episode. So what happened was, in that first week, I finished the first skein of yarn, and I thought, well, I'm going to wait before I start the second skein because it's easier to show the sweater to you guys. And then last weekend, I decided I needed a break from podcasting. So, since I wasn't going to show it to you last weekend, I attached a second ball of yarn. So, I'm on the second ball. Here it is. This is Baby Bee Sweet Delight. It's a DK weight acrylic yarn, and the color is called Soft Licorice. It is a very nice black. It's very soft. And here is my progress. Let me flip this around. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this boot stitch marker right here is where I was last time. So I was still working on the yoke. I have since split for the sleeves, put that on waste yarn, and if I go by the pattern, I have about 11 centimeters left on the body. This pattern is written in metric instead of inches. It's in centimeters, which is fine. But I'm thinking that I might knit it longer. I don't know. I keep trying it on. So I've already made some modifications to the pattern, which, first of all, I love the lace detail. It's amazing. The thing fits super well. I told you guys that I wasn't sure about the fit, that according to the measurements in the pattern, this was going to be like super tight around my chest, and guess what? It isn't. And I'm very happy about that. It's also not super loose, which I'm also really happy about. So I've already started making modifications, and thank you to everyone who has knit this pattern before and made a project page and wrote notes, because I went through and read a lot of notes that people made. So, and I need to add these into mine before I forget. The pattern, like I said, is free, so I'm not really giving anything away. The pattern has you do some increases after you split for the sleeve. So it's not a decrease and then increase back out. It's literally after you know, do the armpit here, you start increasing, and you do this six total increases. Well, I don't really want the thing to flare out on my body. So I'm not doing that. So I did two sets of increases here. I've marked them with progress keepers. And then I decided, you know what? That's enough. I don't want this thing to just poof out. So what I'm doing is I'm going to knit straight. I'm to the point now where I need to try it on again. Because I do have hips. I'm probably going to do a couple more increases, but I want them to be towards the bottom of the garment, not evenly spaced down my waist where I am my thinnest. I don't want it to be big right there. Anyway, yeah, so I'm changing the way I'm doing the increases on here, which means I'm having to try this on a lot, which is rather annoying because I have to keep stopping in my knitting to go try it on. And in order to try it on, I have to get another circular needle to put some of the stitches on it because, anyway, it's cumbersome, but I'm hoping that it will pay off in the end because the thing fits really well so far. So if it means that I have to interrupt my knitting to keep trying it on, then that's what I'm going to do. So while it's annoying, I'm hoping it's going to pay off in the end, and I think it will. So that is my plan. Yeah, so I've made a lot of progress, and once I finish the body, I will pick up for the sleeves, and I will do the same thing because I've had bad luck with the sleeves on previous sweaters where they're too tight around my upper arm and they're too loose around my lower arm. So I'm probably going to do something similar with the sleeves where I keep trying it on and just do the decreases where I want them and just ignore the pattern. So that is one major benefit of knitting your own sweater is that you really can make it your own. So, but honestly, I did not feel confident about modifying a sweater pattern until I had knit a couple of sweaters and found out that the way things are written doesn't mean it's always going to fit like you think it's going to. So yeah. Hello, Marjorie. What is going on, huh? Have you realized that I'm just going to talk to the camera the whole time and not entertain you? Aw, she's so sweet. You want me to let you out of the craft room? Do you want to say hi to everyone? Marjorie? Would you like to say hello? Hi. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Face your face towards the camera. There you go. Oh, okay. She's so cute. All right, I'm gonna let her out of the craft room. I'll be right back. So not only did she want to leave the craft room, but she needed to go outside and do her lady business. So, yeah. So, my other work in progress is a second pair of gift socks for someone in the family. So I'm not going to say who they are for, just in case this person watches the podcast. So, I am knitting socks for various people in the family for Christmas. I'm not going to overcommit myself and say that I'm going to knit socks for everyone. So the plan is just as many as I can. And then that way I don't pressure myself, because as knitters and makers, you guys understand that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, especially around the holidays, to make gifts for people, and we want them to be beautiful and well loved and exactly what that person wanted, and to do that for several people in our family all during this one time of the year. And it's a lot. So I'm trying to have a light stress holiday season, and so I'm not putting major deadlines and expectations on myself. And this was a whole sidetrack thing I didn't expect to say on the podcast, but I'm finding that I'm actually more motivated to work on Christmas gifts if I don't stress myself out. So it's actually really good. Anyway, so like I said, I already finished one pair. I'm on a second pair, and I had already finished the first sock, and I'm working on the second one. And naturally, I've stopped in a horrible place. I'm in the middle of the heel on the second sock. But I'll just go ahead and tell you guys, the yarn that I'm using is, oh my gosh, I have both tags in the bag. Yay! For being organized. Okay, so the main color, this gorgeous navy blue, is Barocco Comfort Sock. It is a fingering weight yarn that is 50% nylon and 50% acrylic. Oh, and I just noticed they've got like these nice laundry symbols here, so we can machine wash and tumble dry, but it does say tumble dry on low heat and do not over dry, which is interesting. I will say that when I give hand knit items as gifts, I usually tell people to just avoid the dryer because you just never know. And if it turns out that the dryer is going to ruin your hand knit item, then, I mean, the only way to really know is hindsight. And is that what you want? Anyway, yeah, so that's the main color. And then the contrasting color I'm using for the cuff, heel, and toe is Cloudborn Merino. It is Superwash Sock Twist, and the color is Charcoal Heather. This is 80% Superwash Merino wool and 20% polyamide. I have used this on several socks I have noticed while doing laundry today. I have only used this yarn as heels and toes and socks. And I've used it in several pairs, so it's gone a long way. But anyway, so yeah, that's the first sock. I'm just doing a really basic texture pattern around the whole leg and on the top of the foot. I did write that texture pattern in the notes section on my project page, if you're curious. And can you hear Marjorie? So the second sock is here. I am in the middle of the heel, quite literally. I like to do a short row heel, so we're working on that. On this one I have 2 circular needles, so 2 16-inch circulars. These are US size 1. They are Knitter's Pride Platina Novas, which are the first sock needles I ever bought for myself, and I love them. And yeah, so I just need to finish turning the heel, and then knit the foot and the toe and weave in all the ends, and no biggie, right? But honestly, once I get past the heel, it's not so bad. And especially once I've knit the first sock, the second one goes a lot faster because I can, you know, reference the other sock to see how far I am. But anyway, I'm looking forward to finishing those. I do want to start another pair of gift socks. Put the tags back in the bag so you have them next time. Yeah. Is that it for works in progress? That is it for works. At least the things that I've worked on this week. Like I said, I have all these bags, but I don't touch every project all the time, so. Anyway. So, I do design knitting patterns, I dye yarn, and I sew bags. And I knit for fun, and I crochet for fun, and I do all the things. So I want to talk about the next design that I have in progress. And I'm not going to give away too many details, but it is so hard for me to keep a secret. So hard. And I don't want to podcast where I feel like, you know, I can't share things. The whole point of a podcast is to share things with you guys. So I would like to talk about what I'm currently designing. So in my super fun fall bag, I have a couple of sock designs that I'm working on. And these are two designs that are complementing each other, and so I want to release the two patterns together as a package. So the first sock design I finished quite a while ago, and I've kept it a secret this whole time, which, like I said, is really hard for me. And the second one I'm currently working on now. But as soon as I finish them, I want to release the two socks together as a pair of socks. So they are cabled socks, and one of them actually has a faux cable, which makes it really easy to knit on the go. And the other one has a true cable, so it's a little less portable, but I love cables. I think they look so classy. And yeah, so, okay, I don't have a handy sock blocker, but that's okay, because the design is on the front of the sock anyway. So, the first sock, wow, that is really green on the screen. So the first sock has the cable, well, both of them have the cable pattern running down the entire front of the sock, except for the toe. I don't know about you guys, but my toes are really, they don't like feeling the texture that's on the sock, so I like to keep my toes plain stockinette because I just don't like the way it feels on my foot otherwise. But anyway, it's got this really nice cable running down the middle, framed here with some rib. Forget, I'm not on the webcam anymore, so it doesn't autofocus, but what's nice about this is that the design is stretchy, and so knitting these for gifts, it makes it nice and easy to make it fit a person's foot. So depending on how tight or loose, it still looks really nice, even if it's all scrunched up or spread out, which I'll have good pictures when I release the pattern, so it'll be easier to see. But anyway, it's got this mock cable running down the middle, and Michael and I tend to like the shorter socks, so I'm going with the shorter socks, and it uses less yarn and takes less time, so but yeah, so the pattern is just on the front of the sock, nothing on the back. I had the cable pattern run all the way up through the ribbing. I think that continuous look looks really classy, like I said. So the second one that's going to be paired with this, which, yeah, the solid yarn, it just looks really good. So it's got the same ribbing as the outline, but this time it has a true cable running down the middle, and it's this like zigzaggy type. Oh my gosh, and it just looks so cool. Like I said, running all the way up, even through the ribbing, because I think that looks really snazzy. And the pattern is just on the front of the sock, not on the back. I can set this other one down. Yep. This one hasn't been on the blocker as long as the other, so I need to work out some of those creases, but yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. It looks so nice. like I said, it's kind of stretchy, so it'll fit more feet sizes that way. But yeah, so for this one, you definitely need, excuse me, a cable needle. I am not comfortable setting 3 stitches or even 1 stitch to the side and knitting around it because dropping stitches is just the worst. So anytime there's cabling, I use a cable needle. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm still finishing up the pairs. I want to release them together as sort of a package, and I'm excited to take pictures. I've been planning these designs for a while. It's just been a matter of, first of all, focusing my attention on it. Like I said, I've been casting on a lot of things, but I really want to release some sock patterns and do a sock knit along in the future. Probably next year after all of these current knit alongs end. I would love to do some kind of sock knit along. So yeah, that's that. I love knitting socks. They're such fun projects. I love designing them. They're all really fun. Anyway, so that's what I'm currently designing. I'm working on some cable socks, and yeah. So in the shop for DeHart House Creations on Etsy, I am working on some self-striping yarn for the shop. So let me show you guys what I've been working on. So I posted some Halloween self-striping yarn before Halloween. It is now post-Halloween. But yeah, I had posted this in the shop a while ago, and I have just now finished my shop sample. So I had started a sock and posted, I think, this much in the picture to show you guys at least how the striping played out, and I have finally finished the whole sock. I did use a contrasting color for the heel, not for the toe. And this is one of my mini skeins. This was a part of my Star Wars mini skein set. This was Endor. But yeah, so I am loving dyeing up self-striping yarn, and yes, it's a process, but I really love it. So you can definitely look for more self-striping yarn from me, and if you have any requests, please send me a message. If you have any color schemes, certain whatever, I would love to hear about it, and I would love to dye you up a custom self-striping skein. Or yeah, a custom whatever. Anyway, so this is my Halloween with an exclamation point colorway. So it's orange and black for the thick stripes, and then a thin white stripe in between the orange and the black. And yeah, I really like it. So I only knit one sock. This is what I still have left. So it's technically a half object, but I want it to be a shop sample, and I really only need one sock for it to be a shop sample. So I did finally finish that. And then I posted a Christmas self-striping colorway, and I'm calling this Holly Jolly. So it is red, green, and white. I mean, it's very in-your-face Christmas, which I love. So I knit up that sock, the full sock this time, and popped in a contrasting heel. So this heel actually isn't one of my yarns. This is Dye is Cast, and I can't remember the colorway name, but it's gray with some random color speckles, which, if you can see, there's a little bit of yellow in there. But I use this in my meandering shawl, and I had some left over. Anyway, the self-striping is DeHart House Creations. The colorway is Holly Jolly. So as you can see, it's mostly green, so I have thick green stripes, and then in between it alternates white and red. I was going to say yellow and red. White and red. Anyway, yeah, so I just love it, and like I said, I only knit one sock for a shop sample, and I have the leftover here, so eventually I'll finish the second sock. But I am finding, so I mostly have US size 1 needles to knit my socks, but I really love the fabric with US size 0. So I knit both of these using US size 0. They're both my foot size. I wear a US women's size 8 shoe. So I did US size 0 needles, 60 stitches. I did a short row heel, and I did do a few increases before the heel to give a little bit of extra room in there. And then decrease them off right away. So a tiny, tiny gusset on there, which makes my heel a little bit bigger and just gives me that little extra room that I need. But the thing is, I don't like the way an afterthought heel feels on my foot. I also don't like the process of knitting heel flap and gusset. I love the short row heel. So what I did is I just add a few stitches in there to give me that little extra room. Anyway, yeah, so I think I need to order more US size 0 needles because I love the fabric, the way it turns out with that smaller needle size with the tighter gauge. It is, I mean, what a difference. I did not expect to see that much of a difference, but it's awesome and I love it. But anyway, so yes, this is Holly Jolly self-striping yarn. You can order that as a gobstopper ball or in a regular hank. So yeah, that is available. DeHart House Creations on Etsy. Michael helped me finish my warping board last night, so I'm going to be working on another colorway this week. I was using this pegboard as my warping board, but for those of you who have a pegboard can probably imagine that as I was winding the yarn around it, the pegs wiggled and wobbled, and sometimes they fell out, and it was really annoying. And no matter how much I taped those pegs down, they still wiggled and wobbled, and it was really annoying. So, so we put together a proper warping board for myself, so that I have a better way of doing that. And I can still display my yarn on the pegboard like I want to, so I don't have to lose that storage. But, yeah, so currently I only have 2 self-striping colorways, but I'm working on more and I'm super excited. And like I said, if you have any requests for colorways you would like to see, themes, whatever, if you want it to be a completely custom thing, or if it's something you just would like to see in the shop, I would love to hear about it, and I would love to do that for you. So, yeah, I really wanted an in-your-face Christmas colorway, and I think this nailed it. So, I'll probably come up with something more subtle next time. Okay, so that covers shop news. So for the last segment of the podcast, I'm going to talk about non-craft related things. I'm going to talk about life stuff, and it'll be pretty short because most of my life is going to work, coming home, knitting, playing video games, bringing work home with me. I don't live a very exciting life. Anyway, yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, again, I am Read Knit Run on Instagram. I have started using stories more, which is kind of cool. You can edit your pictures and videos, adding in text and things, and I I wish we could do that for our regular Instagram posts. Yeah. Anyway, if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably saw that I have lost 5 pounds officially, which I'm really excited to say because usually I lose 3 and then put the 3 back on, and then lose 2 and then put the 2 back on, and it's so hard to get to that 5. Like 5 pounds isn't that much, but I finally lost it. So I have tried different weight loss strategies, and they've mostly focused on working out and doing different exercises. However, I've noticed that it's not the working out that I need to focus on, because I'm pretty active. I teach for a living. I walk around that classroom like so much. And then walking from building to building, and let me go check in with so-and-so, so I walk across campus. I'm pretty active. Even knitting my socks, I will knit on a plain stockinette sock while walking on the treadmill. So, yeah, so I started using Noom, N-O-O-M, on my phone, and I said what I need to focus on is what I'm eating. And that was accurate. I did need to focus on what I was eating, because I would go run 1.5 miles and then come home and eat a pizza. We'll just totally cancel it out. So I'm using Noom, and I'm really loving it. For those of you looking to lose weight, you can try Noom with a 2-week free trial, which is how I started out. I've since subscribed to it. I'm not here to advertise. I just want to let you guys know that I really like this app because there's no pressure. Which I mentioned earlier with Christmas knitting. If I give myself a bunch of pressure, like I've got this crazy deadline and this crazy amount of stuff I gotta get done, and I put all this pressure on myself, it makes it hard. It makes it hard to do, and you know that going into it, that it's really hard to do. So this year's Christmas knitting, I'm not doing that to myself, and it's number 1, more enjoyable, number 2, more attainable, and I really like it. So I like that with this weight loss app that it's the same thing. There's no pressure. I've tried programs before, and they'll tell you that you're being bad. You stop doing that. And it's like, okay, it's just, there's no negativity, there's no pressure. You know, you're striving toward this goal, but you get this support group, and, you know, you log your food, and it's trying to teach you how to make better choices. And as a teacher, I really like that. So, so I'm responding well to it because of the way that it's set up. And everyone just has to find a program that really works for them. So I'm excited. I'm loving it. It's something I can fit into my schedule. It's something I can work on while I'm at work because I just need to pack healthy snacks, which I just check in the app to make sure that it's gonna fit in my budget and is the right kind of food. And then I pack it, and I really, really like it. So anyway, I just wanted to share my success with you guys so far, and I just need to keep going and make good, healthy food choices. And I'm sure at some point I'm going to hit a plateau with my weight loss and then need to switch things up a little bit. So I'm waiting for that to happen. But getting to the 5 pound mark, like I said, I don't know why it's been so hard for me in the past, but I've finally done it, and I just need to keep going. So, so I'm looking for encouragement. Encourage me. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. in that front, I've been taking Marjorie out for more walks and trying to walk to work, and it's a little cold now to be riding our bikes, but Michael and I went on a bike ride. So yeah, it's nice. Anyway, work is work. It never ends. There's always stuff to grade, so that is always happening. And yeah, what else? That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, we haven't gone on any vacations. Thanksgiving is coming up. I think we're going to host Thanksgiving at our house. We haven't narrowed down the details yet. Yeah, just enjoying life. We have the time change, which is going to throw everything off now. This whole week is going to be weird because of the time change. So I'm anticipating that. I think I'm going to actually harvest my first set of tomatoes today off the tomato plant. I see that a couple of them have actually turned red. So yeah, I'm going to eat some of my homegrown tomatoes today. Yeah, okay. That's all the ramblings. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time, which will probably be in 2 weeks. Yes. Yes. All right. So, happy knitting, happy enjoying life, reading, knitting, running, sitting on your butt, enjoying life. Enjoy it all, and I will see you next time. Bye.